Boy, Trap Ninja right here, and I'm just gonna roll up my window just a bit, even though it's hot, so that way there's not a lot of outside noise going through. I have a little, actually written down my YouTube stuff this time because sometimes I forget what I'm gonna talk about before I make the video. I know what I'm gonna talk about, and then once I make it, I forget. So this one's about. Well, I have a couple of notes here. So first, I want to just mention how. Well, you ever notice how women always say for everything their reaction is usually always "Oh my God," and it's just funny how I just noticed that. Like I was watching a video about they're like funny fails and wins. So it's like a lot of people falling, and every time somebody falls, like there's always a woman there to say, "Oh my God!" And literally, I heard it like one video after another where the woman just sound like the same woman, but they're different videos. And I also wanted to say that I thought rapping was gonna be like a lot like easier, but it's actually pretty hard. Um, but I've written down like pretty much the beginning of three or four songs. I just gotta like work on some choruses. But really, I guess my main inspiration today was gonna be ETs, and so I guess David Wilcock was saying how more than ever the ETs want to communicate with us and help us grow spiritually, because there's gonna be uh, every time our solar system goes into a new age, we basically evolve with all these powers, telepathic powers. Like we're gonna be able to like become ethereal, like spirit beings, and just basically be able to manifest anything. So the aliens are gonna come and help us do away with money also. And David was talking about how that was a good thing. I was biting my cheeks right here. It's a bad idea. It's a bad habit. I gotta stop doing that. Now my cheeks hurt from biting them. So I was also thinking about last night, and I think a reptilian gave me a message to call because I was thinking in my head, and I guess he was probably impressed that I knew that that reptilians were actually a mixed hybrid between dragons and humans. That's why they're so you know vicious. So he said, yeah, call us Drumans, just like the way you call a hybrid gray human a hybrid. He said, yeah, you can call us Druman. Or I guess it would be like a hybrid, huh? Anyways, um, yeah, so David Wilcox was talking about how the pyramids had these like was all covered like in a white marble with like alien scriptures on it, talking all about how they came from Tep Tepi, which was like the first civilization, and they basically were just talking about how it's always been an alien civilization, and all these different ETs were walking around, as you can see. As you've probably seen from Egyptian hieroglyphs, you see the half cat beings. It's like people with cat heads or like a dog head, and all these different types, right? So then it got me to thinking. I was thinking like, oh my god, like I'm just thinking like I was learning about the Sumerians, and they're saying how the Sumerians were even before the Egyptians, and I'm thinking the Sumerians were like even more advanced than the Egyptians, and they're before the Egyptians. So I was thinking, wow, like even back then, they're like, I mean, I like to point this out to people. I like to say, well, the reason why I don't believe in evolution is because if you look back in history, the first civilization and the first pyramids were perfect, and every copied civilization or pyramid after that was not perfect. Um, Actually, I didn't know this, but David Wilcox was saying how the Japanese tried to mimic the pyramids, and so they couldn't make it the biggest size, so they ended up shooting for one fifth the size of the pyramid, and they only got a couple of stories high, and that's it. They couldn't do it. They had all the technology. They have all the best technology, and they couldn't rebuild the pyramids. Think about that. And they couldn't rebuild it a couple of stories on one fifth of the pyramid. That just shows you how advanced the technology that these aliens that had pyramids must have had. And then, and like how I was saying, how if you look into a civilization before the Egyptians, the Sumerians, and you read about like Mesopotamia and all that, and Tepi, and how their civilizations were perfect. So it's like this is like really blowing my mind, and like I'm thinking like, because at first I was thinking like humans been around longer than the ETs, but I was like, no way, the aliens have obviously been around longer than us, and we're just kind of around. Our lifespan is similar to like a dog and a human. Like the dog lives, you gotta multiply the dog's life by 7 just to equal our life because their lives are so short. And if you think about it in a time span, let me make a little time span with my hands. Like aliens have been around and humans will just be around for like this long. But maybe from here forward, they might, humans might live because, or just, I mean, we'll live but always be evolving also. Like I guess the conclusion that I was coming to is that humans were, or the Greys that are actually humans because they sent a message to one of the to an army official who was in contact with these aliens. They said, "Your eyes are our eyes," basically saying that they are like us, not exactly like us, but they're like us in a more fundamental way. And also, well, another thing that the Linda Howe, that's who said that quote, and she had some other good points too, really interesting points. Um, but one thing that I wanted to say was, if the video stops, just I'm gonna make a part 2, so this is part 1. Talking about this guy was telling a story, and this video was about fairies, so like totally different subject. Although it is, all the videos that I watch are fairly strange. So this guy's talking about fairies, and then he goes on to like paranormal stuff for a while. So he's talking about ghosts. So he was talking about how this girl was in the hospital, and in the she was pretty much dying, and so it was an emergency and the doctors were running upstairs to go to attend to her. They're going up the stairs. I don't know why they didn't take the escalator. Probably because the stairs are faster. And they saw a girl on the stairs. Obviously, it was the girl in the hospital bed. So she's there and she's holding her stomach and she goes, "My stomach hurts, my stomach hurts." And they go, "Okay, we'll send somebody here to take care of you." And they went upstairs, realized that the girl had died while they were going to her. And then when they went back to go find the girl, she was gone. So the guy who was speaking, forgive me, I don't remember his name. I could probably type it in the description after. He was saying the how because the girl was in that frequency that it actually manifested in that way, like because she didn't realize she had died, because she was in a very painful frequency, that she actually manifested in the stairwell, like she wandered off and just appeared to them. That kind of blew my mind because I'm thinking right away. I started thinking. I go, "Oh my God!" Like I'm looking at myself and my body. I mean, looking inwards. What what I like to call, like Eckhart Tolle says, looking inside yourself. So I was looking inside myself, and I was thinking, man, I have all these things going on. I have like mostly paranoias about like police, even though I have like my driver license and everything. I have my license. This police always give me a bad vibe because just knowing that one day I can afford my insurance and then I'll just take my car, it kind of freaks me out. But anyways, I gotta let go of these kind of fears and worries, because when I die, I don't want to be continue thinking about that kind of bullshit once I'm dead. I mean, once I'm dead, I don't want to go around worrying about having the same fears about police or worrying about this and that. And now I see why people say don't hold grudges because you'll carry it on to the next life. I heard a totally different video talking about that, how whatever you carry with you, these these like whatever baggage you have and you take with you to the other side, other beings will latch onto that kind of baggage. So we basically have to raise our vibrations and have like an inner light. Wait, I'm gonna make a part 2 because I don't like to. It takes too long to make a 10-minute video.